Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is talk to my chosen ones about how most beings will almost always feel offended by what you say, your honesty, your delivery, your vibration. They just always feel offended. What a lot of people don't understand is with growth, there's a lot of resistance, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things happening in the spiritual realm when things are growing, people are growing. There's a lot of things happening in the physical realm when people are growing and things are growing. But what you're going to realize is you're not going to be able to please everyone. You're not always going to say the right words for everyone's liking. You're not always going to give the best energy that's acceptable to everyone around you. And it's a little weird and it's a little witchy because people can understand that, okay, we don't start using open perspective until all parties reside with the Creator or God. We don't do this open perspective thing when they're hanging out in the gray area or if they're using the demonic playbook. So like when I come across other gods and goddesses, I understand the life that they walk. I don't know exactly their trials and tribulations, but I got a guesstimate. And when they start feeding me information or knowledge out loud, or we, exchanging, I'm always open to understand that when they say things that may not coincide with, the words that I usually choose to use, I don't get offended by it. It doesn't rub me the wrong way because I know what team they're coming from. I know that they aren't communicating with me with ill intentions. But when there's a learning process happening or you're intaking information that doesn't feel good to you, it's always going to come with some kind of pain. Pain is on a scale, so I'm not saying you're going to be in maximized pain at 100%, but there may be minimal pain, 10%, 30%, 5% pain. And for us, a lot of us would have never got into the space we were in today if we wasn't honest within ourselves, if we didn't project that vibration outwardly around us as well too. So with that being said, you are going to have to walk in your light connected with Source and the Creator. If you put too much emphasis, y'all see the wind going crazy. If you put too much emphasis on trying to present the word or the subject or the statement as best as you possibly can, sometimes it stumbles you up and you don't present it the exact same way you want to. People are going to get offended either way. So what you have to do is just get comfortable in saying it out loud. What I tell myself is when I'm doing these things and I'm engaging with people in real lifetime, because when I'm engaging with people in real lifetime, I can always tell where the conversation is going. I can tell when it starts ramping up. I can tell when they're saying some things and I'm about to have to adjust the vibration a little bit. So, for instance, just a small example, I was engaged with somebody a couple days ago and they kept saying, oh, I'm old. And they kept saying they old, and I'm just saying to myself, like, you like 21, 22, you know what I mean? Like, I'm 38 years old, so you're not gonna put that on me. I'm as old as I'm supposed to be. I'm alive. So when people say I'm old, I say I'm alive. But they kept putting that energy out there, and I kept telling them, like, all right, look, for one, you're not my age, and for two, if you're gonna say that you're getting old, you need to just remove that spell, right? Words are spells and spells are real. Don't tell yourself that you're getting old. Tell yourself that, okay, I need to work a little bit harder, or I need to do these things 1, 2, 3, 4 to kind of start getting my health in a much better vibration and frequency. It's different word spells that you can use so that way you aren't putting out just this weird vibration with no compensation behind it. And I could tell I had rubbed them wrong a little bit, you know what I mean? But in this walk of life, none of that matters. You're gonna get rubbed. The system is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. So if Somebody connected with Source happened to rub you the wrong way. Oh well, deal with it. I don't know what else to tell you besides honesty. That is what's going to shift everything, you know? Even when it's hard for them to intake it, they still come back a week, 2 weeks later, a month or two later, and they're in this space of, oh, Trak, yeah, you was right. And I'm like, it ain't about being right. It's just about getting everybody into a space to where we're doing and learning more. Because I'm fighting these battles, and I don't have another being in my ear or beside me the way that I push this vibration out to the universe and to everybody else that's around me. That's one small example. Then you got example number 2, as into where a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, it's usually only females who are like insecure or got like something weird, witchy going on with them, but they have a hard time when men mention women, but they don't have an issue when women mention men. These kind of things is prevalent in today's society right now, especially considering that you can turn on any social media and you'll see all these, you know, dating coaches, you got dating advice, they got, you know, all these new pop the balloons and all these different things that involves with dating in the opposite sex. So when you are engaging with people who see this every day, you know, you have to understand that they still have kinks that they are unaware of that they have to work out. Because most of us, once we start getting our vibration to a certain space, we're aware of these other things that's happening around us. When I first started growing, and people used to say certain things or try to categorize me because I'm dark skinned or because of the way I dress or all these other things, it's just like, it, on a percentage scale, I would say in the beginning, it used to kind of bother me a little bit more, maybe like 40%, you know what I mean? It's the first number that came to me, so I would say about 40%. I got it down to about 20 to 10%. I'm not one of them people who make it seem like the outside realm doesn't affect me. I would be mentally challenged if I thought my outside realm did not affect me. When I'm in certain areas and places, I have to maneuver a certain way because I have to keep myself safe. 1, keep myself safe. 2, is survival mode. You know, understanding these things. A lot of people don't want men talking about women, women talking about men. A lot of people don't want people talking about our cultural differences. Meaning, brown people are different from Caucasian people, which are different from Asian people, which are different from, you know, our lighter brown Hispanic people, which is different from our Egyptian family, or what we call Islamic or Arabic. You know what I mean? All different cultures, and for some reason, a lot of people hate the fact that a lot of us that's in this realm can recognize that you cannot follow Islam or Christianity and have that demonic thought process. It's always mind-blowing to me, and a lot of people tend to get offended when you mention any of these things. Any of them. And it's like, as long as I know where the intentions is coming from, and I know what team you riding with, it doesn't mean that much to me. I take it with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? Because I know that you aren't seeing these things to hurt me, but sometimes when we acknowledge the reality of life, it does hurt. It does hurt. When I wake up some days and I snap back and I'm in this body and I realize all this weird, witchy stuff I got on the table that I gotta take care of, it gets my energy doing this number right here and doing this number just all over the place. So then I usually have to start getting up, making myself productive, or some days it be so hard that I just get out the house right away and I get straight to work, because that's the process, you know. But the reality and life is hard, you know. A lot of people get offended by just your actions, you know what I mean? I was talking to a male associate of mine, and I had been put the content out about me and my daughter, and for some reason, I know the reason. Sometimes I just use words to like gap fill, and that's just kind of what that was. But I know that he has his situation. It's a male associate of mine. He has his situation where he's with the mother of his 2 recent ones, but he doesn't get to see his oldest one as much. And anytime I tend to talk about mine and what I'm doing for mine, he got 2 in place right now, but it always be some weird situation where he seems to take offense to me talking about the amount of work that I'm putting in to be with my daughter that I have now. And I be telling him, like, bro, nobody's stopping you from putting in the work to do the same thing with yours that you don't get to see as much. Nothing is stopping them from that. Not anything. I don't like to say nothing. Scratch. Not anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not gonna be around people and just not talk about certain things, especially when it's not low vibrational. It's something that's more uplift. I was already in a weird lower space. So when I start speaking of, like, I start pulling stuff highly or actions and things that I've done, and I have to speak highly on, it's because I'm pulling myself out of a weird space. So if I'm around beings and they trying to chop that shit down too, the offense is gonna get worse, because now I feel the vibration of resistance and not wanting me to ventilate what I have going on right now. So I'm either gonna stop communicating with you at the time, get off the phone, jack, leave the space sphere, or I'm gonna ramp it up, and you're really gonna be offended. You know, you cannot be concerned with offending people out here, because the ones who have been working on self and the ones who's connected with source, they already understand this process. They already know the majority is riding with the sheep. So you have to understand the tactics that's constantly changing and what's happening, what's going on. And then you have to be mindful of the people who pretend to be connected with source and they're not connected with source. And they'll let you know that they're not connected with source by saying, hey, I don't see color. Source created all this color out here. So that's already a form of resistance. Oppositions is anybody who is going against source. You got the creator and source right here. Then you got anything that's opposing. I don't care if it's opposing from up here, if it's opposing from down here, those lower levels. You know what I mean? They still opposing at the end of the day. And then on the flip side of it, be mindful of the ones who are still warped into this Western ideology. You cannot be in this Western society and not understand that it's twisted and it's warped, and you still are not comprehending the dynamics of male and female, how both go together, how the creator lined up a structure, and how we supposed to follow these structures, and then you can work around it. Nobody gets on a monopoly board and just hands everybody, okay, you get $20, you get $100, I'm gonna give you $500 because I like you. You know, that's not how it works. You have a blueprint, you have rules, you have guidelines. All right, this is how monopoly works. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody get one piece. Everybody can roll one dice first to see who goes first. You know, everybody gets what? $150, $250 first off bat. You know what I mean? It's probably more than that, because you get 2 100s, then you get the 500. So it's probably like $850, you know, somewhere around there. Everybody starts off with the same. And then the beings who tend to cheat and maneuver and do other witchy things while you're playing the game, they're doing it around the game. They already understand the rules of the game. You're not going to be able to focus on offending people, because people going to feel offended just by looking at you. People feel offended just by your presence, by your aura, by your energy. So if these things already offend people, you should already know the minute you open your mouth, it's going to get worse. Not saying that they're going to do something to you, but that you're going to be able to feel the vibration of the resistance. It's always going to be resistance, you know. Anytime you mention things, we're in Western society, I'm going to emphasize that, because these beings have to be mentally challenged to not comprehend that we are all culturally different and that man and woman is different. The people who don't want to comprehend this and they feel offended, you got to get far the fuck away from them, because they are at an extremely toxic level, and their intentions is a fake false pretense of being connected with source, and they're not. They are not. when you go out into nature and life, you see every spiritual animal entity vibing together. We're not doing this anymore. It's 2024 in the Matrix time. Spiritual years, we don't know where we at right now, but as far as the Matrix time, they say it's 2024. So being so that it's 2024, you gotta stop being so concerned with offending people. The people that you offend ain't riding with you anyways. They ain't on your team anyways. They ain't messing with the creator anyways. You know what I mean? They ain't no warriors. They ain't no fighters. They ain't out here trying to establish more peace and abundance for everybody out here. They're trying to continue to allow this witchery and people to keep running around with all these masks and things. You know how many females, weird females, always got, why you always gotta talk about women? Men, why you always gotta talk about... Motherfucker, because that's how the creator set it up. That don't even make no sense. Why the hell... I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for male and female. I wouldn't be here. A lot of the common sense is not common anymore, you know, and I think most of us understand these things. So in this walk of life, you basically stepping, if you moving with source, because most of us are not all in the same space. Numbers is always going to be against you. Always. So whether it's in the digital world or whether it's in the physical world. This wind going crazy. If it's blowing my locks, it's blowing way too hard since the seasons have been changing. This year has been crazy windy. I don't know what they doing with this harp machine and equipment and stuff, but it has really been turning up, and that's why the filming has been a little bit all over the place, because I love being outside, but I can't beat the wind. I cannot beat the wind, you know what I mean? Like, I'm limited. I'm not gonna get offended by the wind. The wind doing what it's supposed to do. So that's how we should look at it when we got other beings engaging with us, not comprehending the full scale and spectrum of things. Over here, what I do is I always touch the hard subjects. I wouldn't be in the space I was in today if I didn't touch the hard subjects. If I didn't, I did these things in real life, which made me more comfortable doing it in front of the camera, recording it and then putting it out into the world, because I do this in real lifetime. Real lifetime, y'all. So just be mindful of these things. It's getting so windy, I feel like they about to shut me down. But I didn't want to run it up too long. This wind is an obstacle right now. But I did get a chance to get up here and put some new things down on the table for y'all. You know what I mean? They are going to be offended, whether it's by your presence, your aura, your energy, vibration, frequency, you know, how you smile, how you laugh, you know, how you give your information, how you give your insight, you know, how you drive your car, how you sit down, sometimes it's even just how you walk. It could just be super swaggy, unintentionally. Y'all could be wearing the same thing and you make it look and feel more swaggier and they'll feel offended. Y'all could have got the same food and they feel offended because you got extra fry or two. You know, these kind of beings, you just gotta leave them where they are at. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. I'm tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.